You're a Sagittarius, and everyone thinks they know what that means. Loud, funny, free. The one who doesn't take life too seriously. The one who always knows what to say, always has a plan, always lands on their feet. But let's stop there, because that's just the version of you that people are comfortable with. That's not all of you, not even close. Here's what they don't see. You're not always okay. You just got really good at pretending you were. You learned early on that when you express too much, people get uncomfortable, so you made yourself the one who makes them comfortable, the light, the distraction, the escape. But inside, you're not light. You're fire. And fire doesn't stay still. You're someone who needs space, not just physically, but emotionally. You need room to figure out what you feel without everyone else projecting onto it. You need to move, to experience, to explore. Not because you're flaky, but because staying still sometimes feels like suffocating. People say you're too much, but what they don't get is you've already filtered yourself down 100 times before they even noticed. You've replayed what you were going to say. You've checked their energy. You've pulled back even when you wanted to go all in, because you've been taught that your full self is a lot. So now, you joke instead of vent. You laugh instead of cry. You change the subject instead of sitting in the discomfort. And what does that do over time? It builds a wall, not made of anger, but of movement. You move on fast. You let go quick. You chase the next thing, the next place, the next person, the next goal. Not because you're careless, but because you're scared of getting stuck in pain you can't control. Let's go back, because like all fire signs, your patterns started early. Sagittarius kids are often the ones who learned how to self-soothe. You figured out how to make yourself laugh, how to dream bigger when things around you didn't feel right, how to tell yourself it would all work out, even when nothing around you said it would. So now, as an adult, you don't wait around for people to understand you. You just keep moving. You keep creating. You keep hoping that maybe the next version of life will finally feel like home. But here's the truth. You crave more than adventure. You crave belonging. You want a love that doesn't clip your wings. You want a path that lets you grow without shrinking your spirit. You want to be seen, fully, without being caged. But because of how you're wired, you keep pushing away the very things you want most. You ghost when it gets too deep. You lose interest when people stop stimulating you. You question yourself when things start to feel too calm. Because comfort for you sometimes feels like a trap. And that's what people don't get. Sagittarius doesn't fear failure. You fear stagnation. You fear waking up one day and realizing you've outgrown the life you created. Again. You fear settling for a version of yourself that doesn't match what your soul knows is possible. So instead of sitting in one place too long, you chase and chase and chase. But what happens when the high wears off? What happens when you've switched cities, jobs, friends, goals, and still feel that same quiet ache? That's what no one talks about. The emptiness that follows the thrill, the moment the laughter stops and you're left with you. No distractions, no new project, no flight booked, just space. And a soul that's still looking for something it can't quite name. That's your shadow. That's the part of you no one sees. The part that wonders if you'll ever really be known. Or if you're just destined to be understood in pieces by 1,000 different people who never really stayed long enough to see the whole thing. You've made peace with that, at least on the surface. But if you're being honest with yourself, you're tired of starting over. Tired of being the one who always figures it out. Tired of being okay with temporary. You want roots. You want something that lasts, even if you don't know how to ask for it yet. You're a Sagittarius. The world tells you to run, but your soul is asking you to return to yourself. And that's where the real journey begins. Here's where it gets real. Let's talk about your flaw. Every Sagittarius has one. It's not that you're unreliable. It's not that you're too honest. It's that you don't stay long enough to finish what your soul actually came here to do. You start strong. You light it up. You bring fire into dead rooms and passion into stale ideas. You breathe belief into people who've forgotten how to dream. But when the spark fades, you're gone. Not physically every time, but emotionally, mentally, energetically. You start clocking out. You stop replying. You stop caring. Because deep down, you associate boredom with danger, and that's the flaw. You treat consistency like a trap, when really, it's the path to everything you say you want. You chase freedom. But let's be honest. Sometimes it's not freedom you're after. It's escape. From responsibility. From stillness. From having to sit with feelings you've outrun for years. And the moment something starts to feel too predictable, you sabotage it. You say it's not exciting anymore. You say you've outgrown it. You say, I just need something new. But deep down, you're scared. Scared that if you stop moving, the feelings will catch up. Scared that if you stay, they'll see you. All of you. Not just the fun, passionate version, but the part that doubts, overthinks, isolates, second guesses. So instead, you run. Sometimes it's from jobs. Sometimes it's from relationships. Sometimes it's from yourself. Let's get specific. This shows up heavy in love. You crave love that feels like possibility, like open roads and shared dreams. You want someone who excites you, stimulates you, challenges your mind, someone who doesn't try to pin you down, but runs with you. But here's the thing. You attract people who need your fire, but don't know how to hold it. People who want to be lit up, but can't keep up. And you get frustrated because you want connection without suffocation. But half the time, you don't even communicate that clearly. You just distance. You start pulling away slowly, and then all at once. And then you're gone. You say it's because they weren't aligned. But sometimes it's because you didn't give it time to align. That's the loop. You romanticize freedom, but secretly crave depth. You joke your way through heartbreak, but replay it when you're alone. You say you're over it, but part of you is still stuck in the goodbye. Let's talk work, because Sagittarius was not built for mundane. You don't just want a paycheck. You want meaning. You need to feel like your energy is creating something that matters. If the environment's dead, your spirit shuts down. If the people are fake, you disconnect. If the vision doesn't align, you get depressed quietly. You're not lazy. You're lost when it doesn't make sense. You're built for roles where your energy moves things, where you inspire, teach, build, direct, create. You're a natural strategist, visionary, messenger. You speak futures into existence for yourself and others. But when you settle for stable, you lose your light. You clock in, you smile, you cope. But inside, you know you're not meant for this, and it eats at you. So what's misunderstood about you? People think you're unserious, that you're all fun, no depth. But what they don't get is that your humor is a shield. You use lightness to survive, to distract, to keep people from asking too many questions. Because if they really asked, they'd see how heavy it actually gets inside you. You're not unserious. You just get tired of carrying the weight all the time. So you let it out in bursts, a joke, a laugh, a trip, a project. Then you're quiet again. And the people who don't know you, they think you changed. But the truth is, that was you too. You're both, the spark and the silence. Now here's what begins your glow up. It's not some breakthrough moment. It's consistency. It's sticking with the thing that scares you. It's showing up even when you want to run. It's learning that discipline doesn't kill freedom, it unlocks it. Your glow up is quiet at first. You wake up one day and realize you're tired of starting over, tired of chasing highs, tired of being almost great at 100 things, but not rooted in any of them. You stop outsourcing your joy to the next city, the next launch, the next person. You finally start building with intention. And when that happens, your fire becomes focus. Your charm becomes direction. Your gifts start landing because you're finally giving them time to evolve. That's when everything starts to change. Let's zoom out now, because Sagittarius isn't just emotional. You're spiritual, pattern-based, big picture. You don't just want to know what's happening, you want to know why. You want to understand how your life fits into something deeper, a bigger rhythm, a reason. So here it is, the rhythm that actually governs your growth. You move in 9-year personal cycles, and every year has its own energy, its own purpose, its own internal pull. If you know what year you're in, everything starts to make sense. Especially that feeling you get when you're ready to move, but something invisible tells you to wait. Let's break it down. To calculate your current personal year, take your birth month plus day and add it to the current year. If you were born on December 9th, 2006, and it's 2025, 1 plus 2 plus 9 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 equals 21, 2 plus 1 equals 3. You'd be in a personal year 3 in 2025. Here's what that means, and how each year actually works. Year 1, clean slate. You'll feel restless, like life's trying to push you toward a new chapter. This is your start it year. If you ignore it, you'll feel stuck and misaligned. Year 2, emotional depth. This year is quiet, sensitive, and relational. You'll need patience. It's about healing, observing, listening, not launching a building. Year 3, creative fire. This is the year where your ideas finally want to be seen. It's a visibility year. It favors content, expression, joy, and motion. If you hold back or isolate this year, you'll feel drained for no reason. Year 4, discipline, hard work, grind. This is when life teaches you how to commit. It can feel slow, but it's powerful if you stick with it. If you resist structure, the year will feel heavy. Year 5, change, shift, momentum. This is your move year. Freedom and chaos are both on the table. Play it right, you elevate fast. Play it wrong, you crash hard. Year 6, stability, relationships, decisions. This year brings emotional responsibility and asks you to build or release what's not aligned. Expect pressure around love, home, or loyalty. Year 7, spiritual solitude. This is your reflection year. Not much may happen outside, but inside. Everything is evolving. If you avoid the stillness, it'll feel isolating. But if you embrace it, it's sacred. Year 8, power, control, money, legacy. This is when you get tested. Can you lead yourself without falling back into old cycles? This is harvest season, if you've been putting in the work. Year 9, endings, letting go, reset. You'll feel things falling away, people, habits, dreams. It's not failure. It's the universe making space. Surrender with grace, and you set yourself up for a powerful next cycle. Then you start again. Year 1, new path, new you. So what does this mean for you? Right now, if you're in a personal year 3 in 2025, you're in a visibility year. This is your time to be seen, to speak, to share, to create. If you've been hiding your gifts or playing it safe, this is the year that calls you out. Your job isn't to control the outcome. Your job is to express anyway. Don't overthink it. Don't wait for it to be perfect. Share the thing, start the project, build the page. This year wants motion, and the glow-up that follows it depends entirely on what you initiate now. If you're in a personal year 4, this is where the universe checks your foundation. Are you really committed to what you started? Can you stick through the parts that aren't exciting? This year is where most people quit. Don't. This is your prove-it season. If you trust the process, year 5 will take you higher than you've ever been. If you're in a year 5 now, that's your glow-up window. But be sharp. This year brings rapid change, not all of it easy. You have to move smart. Don't burn everything down. But also, don't hesitate to leave what no longer matches the life you want. Big leaps, big moves, big lessons. And if you're in years 6 or 7, this isn't your go viral year. This is internal work. You're learning what your heart really needs. You're refining your energy. Don't resist the quiet. It's building you from the inside out. Now here's what's real. Sagittarius doesn't do well when they feel caged by timing. You don't like hearing wait. But sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is pause with purpose. Timing isn't blocking you. It's aligning you. It's putting you in position to hit when it actually counts. Because here's the truth. Your breakthroughs don't come when you chase them. They come when you stop running from yourself long enough to receive them. So whether you're in year 3, 5, 7, or 9, there's something this season is trying to teach you. And the moment you stop asking, why isn't it happening yet? And start asking, what am I being prepared for? Everything shifts. Let's talk about what happens if you don't evolve. If you keep running from yourself, from stillness, from anything that doesn't spark instant excitement, you'll wake up one day surrounded by people who don't really know you, in a life that looks free on the outside but feels hollow at the core. You'll keep chasing new beginnings and wondering why none of them feel like home. You'll keep saying yes to the wrong things just because they seem fun. You'll overpromise, undercommit, disappear, start over, and call it living. But deep down, you'll feel it. That quiet ache. The voice in your chest that says, I thought this would feel better than it does. You'll become known, but not felt. Present, but not grounded. Free, but not fulfilled. You'll keep making people laugh while secretly wondering if anyone could ever actually love the real you. Not the version that inspires them, not the one that keeps it light. The version that doubts, that crashes, that overthinks, that wants to be held. And because you're so good at bouncing back, nobody will notice you're breaking. Not even you. You'll start mistaking survival for progress. And years will pass. You'll have stories, but not roots. You'll have moments, but not depth. And you'll wonder why it always feels like you're building something, but never quite arriving. But what if you stopped? What if you decided you were done shrinking your life down to only what feels safe or fun or temporary? What if you chose to evolve? Here's what unlocks. You stop apologizing for your ambition and start anchoring it. You stop running from stability and start creating your own definition of it. You learn that depth doesn't mean being trapped. It means being seen. Your relationships shift. You don't fall for attention anymore. You don't chase chemistry that leads nowhere. You wait for alignment, for clarity, for energy that challenges you without trying to control you. And when it doesn't feel right, you don't ghost. You just let go, clean, honest, and with peace. You finally stop living your life based on what other people expect you to be, and start living based on what your soul has always known you are. Your work evolves too. You don't just build ideas, you build systems. You don't just inspire others, you lead them. You take your fire and turn it into focus. You stop seeking meaning through movement and find it in momentum. You become unstoppable, because you're finally aligned, and you realize freedom was never about escape. It was about truth. And now that you're living it, you don't need to run anymore. You're already where you were trying to get to, because you finally brought you to the table. Here's your truth, Sagittarius. You are not flaky. You are not too much. You are not lost. You are expansive. You are someone who was born to chase possibility, but you were never meant to do it alone. And you were never meant to keep starting over. You are someone who brings meaning into motion, who turns chaos into clarity, who can shift lives with a sentence and light up entire rooms with your belief. But first, you have to believe in yourself enough to stay. To stay when it's scary. To stay when it's quiet. To stay when you're unsure. Because what you've been looking for this whole time, it's not in the next trip, the next job, or the next version of you. It's in your stillness, your honesty, your roots. You're a Sagittarius. You weren't made to be tamed, but you were made to be whole. And the moment you stop running is the moment everything you've been chasing finally finds you.